On the 13th of July, 2021, a new game appeared in app stores across China. This game is called Luobu, which is officially shortened to Luobu. During its lifespan, over 5 million users signed up to this game, but every single one was no longer allowed to play after just 6 months, when the game was supposedly temporarily shut down. Only a year after Luobu was created, every single account was permanently wiped and deleted, and any hope for a possible revival of the game was crushed. Now, what if I told you that Luobu was actually just the Chinese version of Roblox, and you probably never even knew it existed?
A platform that adhered to China's demands was ready to launch.
Did you know there's a Chinese version of Roblox?
Well, they actually terminated all of the Luobu Chinese Roblox accounts.
Luobu, Luobu.
But wait a second, how did this all happen in the first place? To understand why people in China can't just play regular Roblox and have to use a special version, you first need to know about the insane levels of internet censorship in the country. China is well known for not letting its over 1.4 billion citizens access the uncensored internet, and this includes Roblox. However, this system is not flawless because VPNs are still completely legal there, allowing Chinese people to bypass the firewall and play regular Roblox. So why did Luobu even get created in the first place? Well, in 2019, Roblox partnered with Tencent, a Chinese mega corporation, which controls almost everything technology and internet related in the country. Together, David Baszucki, the CEO of Roblox, and a subdivision of Tencent began work on a Chinese-compatible version of Roblox. This was big news for a lot of people, as it was one of the first times any game with user-generated content was allowed in China. Even Animal Crossing, one of those peaceful and wholesome games out there, was banned because it contained user-generated content, which could help Chinese players bypass the firewall. Luobu was originally supposed to be a tool that would have been used to help Chinese students learn the basics of game design, which is why a modified version of Roblox Studio was actually released in China a few months before Luobu was. You can really see how Roblox was pushing this idea of Luobu being an educational resource for students in China if you take a look at Roblox's Chinese social media, which I'll go more in depth in later in this video. Roblox mostly only claimed that Luobu had educational values to butter up the executives at Tencent and the Chinese government, and those claims were likely one of the main reasons why Luobu was even released, though we'll never know for sure. Eventually, Luobu was released on July 13th, 2021, but it was very unpopular, as only 5 million accounts were ever created in the 6 months the game was around. Like I mentioned, Roblox could just be played using a VPN anyways, so many Chinese players found this highly censored version of Roblox to just be unappealing. The release of Luobu was actually more popular in the West because there was an event that Roblox held to celebrate its release. This event was named Opening of Luobu's Endless Worlds, and if you've ever heard of the game before, that's probably why. After the conclusion of that event, interest in Luobu dwindled, and the game faded into obscurity in a matter of months, eventually shutting down on December 8th, 2021, mainly because of lack of interest in China putting stricter laws around video games, and with less players playing Luobu, Roblox saw no reason to even keep it up anymore. However, Roblox claimed that Luobu would return in 2024 or 2025 as various issues of the platform were resolved. We never really found out what those issues were, or if there even were any. Just shy of a year after Luobu was released, on July 7th, 2022, every single account that had signed up for Luobu was terminated, which may suggest the abandonment of the project, for good this time. When Luobu first released, Roblox allowed some developers to release their game in the Chinese version of their platform. However, for these games to be ported over, developers had to follow very strict requirements, such as the following. Loot boxes could not be implemented in any games to comply with Chinese law, no blood or intense fighting, no religious content, no content regarding Chinese history, gee, I sure do wonder why, no foreign social media, no political content, and the one that I consider to be the strangest out of all of these rules, no horror or scary content. This rule is one that I remember laughing about when it was first put in place, because at that time I used to play a lot of Piggy, and if there's one thing that game has, it's skeletons, zombies, and corpses, which are 3 things that these guidelines explicitly say cannot be included in a game. When Piggy got brought over to Luobu, the skins featuring skeletons and zombies were all but gone, and all of the blood was removed to comply with these rules. Additionally, another game I used to play, Mining Simulator, was brought over to Luobu, and in this game, I can actually showcase some of the other rules you would follow. For instance, the no loot boxes rule was demonstrated here because children yearn for the casinos as much as they do for the mines. You can see every prize that was obtainable via loot box is now also obtainable in a new section of the shop, where you could just buy the specific item you want without ever needing to open a single loot box, thus complying with Chinese law. Another thing that can be easily demonstrated here is a mechanic that all games that were brought over to Luobu had to implement. If you fall from a certain height, a message will appear on your screen saying something along the lines of, "Do not imitate dangerous actions." Without any auxiliary equipment, jumping from a high place will result in falling, injury, or death. A parachute will be equipped to your character and you will slowly glide down to the ground. I mentioned previously that Roblox has Chinese social media, with one of these platforms being Bilibili, which is filled with people designing and scripting things on Luobu. I'll just play a few clips from some of these videos right now so you can see for yourself the kind of content that Roblox pushes in China.
动手进行实战开发。在学完整个教程之后，同学们就具备独立制作出一款跑酷作品的能力了。
There's actually quite a large Roblox community on there, with users uploading videos similar to what would be uploaded on YouTube. However, most of this content was made using regular Roblox, not Luobu. I also mentioned that Roblox was heavily promoting Luobu as an educational tool, but I bet you didn't know that Roblox actually had a Luobu Developer Conference, which was similar to the Roblox Developer Conference, but it was held in Shanghai instead of California, where RDC usually takes place. Also, in late July of 2021, Roblox users who logged in the Chinese version of Roblox Studio with their non-Luobu account had those non-Luobu accounts turn into hybrid accounts, which essentially applied much of the censorship that was present on Luobu to an account that was created on regular Roblox. These hybrid users were banned from joining groups or adding friends, and any Robux they had were deleted. Thankfully, after a few weeks, these hybrid accounts were reverted back to regular Roblox accounts and had all their Robux restored. Unfortunately, a similar incident happened in February of 2022, when a link was found that, to the untrained eye, looked like a moderated item Roblox policy agreement, which is one of those things that Roblox sends you if you bought an item that got content deleted. This link, however, was tied to Luobu, and when you accepted the Robux, your account would be turned to one of those hybrid accounts from before. Malicious users began sending this link to unsuspecting players, and telling them that they could actually claim free Robux. These accounts were reverted the following month, thankfully. Those are just some random tidbits of information I found while making this video, and I thought they were interesting enough to share. As of when I'm writing the script for this video, Luobu has not come back, and I honestly doubt it ever will. It was a total failure in China, and it seems as though Roblox killed the project after realizing that abiding by all the Chinese government's laws surrounding video games was just too much work, and not worth it in the long run. Unfortunately, that's all I have for this video. All my sources and all the music that I've used are linked in the description. And please do consider dropping a like or even a subscription to the channel if you enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you whenever I upload again. Goodbye.